I welcome you all for the second day of Faculty Development Program and March Quest of Erudition and Research. Now let's start the session with a prayer song, as the prayer is key to unlock our success. So I request all the participants to lean your ears to the prayer song. Thank you, everyone. A small cheer and a great welcome makes a merry feast. And so I request Ms. E.G. Hema Bindu, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of English, to welcome the gathering. Please, ma'am.
Good morning to everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you all the 3-day online FDP program. Today we are privileged to have an eminent speaker, Dr. L. Kavitha Nair, Aror, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Northern Border University. We are awaiting to listen to their topic on Lead to Learn and Learn to Lead. On behalf of management and principal, I take this opportunity to welcome you, ma'am. I feel happy to welcome our principal, Dr. T. Balasubramaniam, Vice Principal, Dr. M. Indavali ma'am, PRO ma'am, Shaktimala, and our HOD Sumaira ma'am. Welcome, sir, and welcome, ma'am. I extend my warm welcome to our faculty members and all participants. Welcome you all. And we need all your cooperation for the success of this program. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. Every thought you produce, anything you say, anything you do, be your signature. There is nothing more than program to highlight the signature of chief guest through introduction. And hence, I request Ms. N. Hema Malini, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of English, to introduce the chief guest. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning to one and all present here. It's my immense pleasure to introduce our second day resource person, Dr. L. Kavitha Nair, Assistant Professor in English, RR, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Northern Border University. Ma'am is result-oriented assistant professor with 20 years of experience in teaching and research. Ma'am has excellent interpersonal skills and strong background in building relationships in a multicultural environment with a diverse range of people. Ma'am is a member of Curriculum Development Board, interview panel, and examiner for various university examinations. Towards her academic excellence, Ma'am is a second rank holder in English literature in 1994 from University of Madras, fourth rank holder English language in 1994 from University of Madras, and first rank holder in Hindi language in 1994 from University of Madras. Ma'am has credited her publications in various national and international journals. Ma'am has been honored and awarded by Anna University and VIT University. Ma'am has got membership of LTI, IATL, and ISTD. With all these prolific achievements, it's our pleasure to have such a dynamic personality on the second day of FTP.
Murthy.
Thank you, ma'am. Here comes the time for us to widen our ears and mind to the special guest of this session, Dr. L. Kavita Nair, Assistant Professor, RR, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Northern Border University, who's here to invite us through her thoughts. Now I request our session head to deliver keynotes. Please, ma'am.
Thank you. That was a very warm welcome. Thank you, Dr. Himabindu, Ms. Hema Malini, and welcome to my lovely listeners today. So, I would like all of you to just look at this particular statistics before we get on with today's session. I hope all of you can see the statistics. Now, this is a study conducted by Gallup across 155 countries on the state of global workplace. Now, I have taken the data of 2010, 2015, 2017, and there is a lot to it. But on the surface level, let us look at the number of, now this is based on the number of people employed, okay, the employed population of the world. Now, out of maybe around 2.5 to 3 billion people employed, now they are divided into three groups. They get divided actually based on the performance. The first group, they are called engaged employees, not engaged employees, and actively disengaged employees. So on the superficial level, if we just divide into two, engaged employees and not engaged employees, almost 85% of the employed people are not engaged. And what is engaged? What is the difference between engaged and not engaged? Now, engaged employees are those who work with passion and feel a profound connection to their workplace. They have the ownership. They feel like being part of that particular place which they are working. They drive innovation and move the organization forward with whatever little way they can, they're able to. Then comes the not engaged employees. They are essentially checked out. They're always sleepwalking through their working day, putting time, but not energy or passion into their work. Sleepwalking, so they come to work, they are at work, and then they are back home. And then we have the third group, actively disengaged employees. So actively disengaged employees aren't just unhappy at work. They're also busy acting it out. They're actually showing their unpleasantness at work. Every day, these workers undermine what their engaged co-workers accomplish. So, you know, we all are aware of these things. Yes, these are the major divisions that come in the employed population of the world. Now, research says that the vast majority of working adults do not enjoy their work. Is it true? Please feel free to post your comments in the chat box. So we can have a discussion once we finish with the session. So do you agree with this? Let me know it. Now, so our purpose today is to, can we make it this? The earlier picture, can we convert it into this one? Now, there are a lot of things this picture that communicates to us, which we'll slowly uncover on these particular topics. So before we get into the session, I would like to actually thank Marudhar Kesari Jain College for Women for inviting me to be part of this beautiful FDP that they've arranged in these challenging times. And we know it is quite challenging due to COVID-19. Then there are many other things happening across the world and even in India. So let us take the positives out of these, and I would request all of you to kindly wear your active listening hats. As per the 4 skills, listening is considered to be part of the passive skills. But today, we want to change it into active listening. So I would like, I'd be happy if all of you can have your notebook and a pen, whichever is available, even the notepad on your phone, anything. Just keep a paper and pen, because we are going to do active listening, not passive, right? And Ms. Hema had told me that, Ms. Hema Malini had told me that I would be talking to a beautiful group of teachers. And when I attended Dr. Rajni's session yesterday, I could see that there are many students also attending the seminar, the webinar. And it was heartening to see. And I think many of you might be getting into or thinking of getting into the profession of teaching. Yes. So a very warm welcome to all the lovely teachers and the students there who are listening to me today. Now, we were talking about the challenging time now. Now, I call this actually a dream time, a dream vacation. Every day during our office going schedule, we always think, oh, if it could have been a vacation today, somehow we get one day off. Yes or no? We all do that. So now, fortunately or unfortunately, we've got the dream time in the last few months. I would like just all of you to think about, how did you use your time? Did you start study any new subject? Did you learn any new skill in these 3-4 months? Did you start reading? And we have a lot of hobbies for which we do not find time. Yes? Did you get into a regular hobby hunting time? And then, did you start writing or journaling? One of the best ways of stress busting, be it whether you're happy or you're sad. So in the comment box, in the chat box, actually just write what you or how did you use this particular time that you fortunately got during this time, and especially when we were quite busy with our schedules. Okay, so we'd like to discuss on that further. Now, there's another thing. Now, I would like all of you to quickly answer the following. What are the 3 words you would use to describe yourself as a teacher, or for those who are planning to get into the profession of teaching? Quickly write 3 words that would describe you as a teacher. Yes. Just a few seconds. That's why I said you keep your notebook and the pencil or pen ready. The 3 words that, there are a lot of words across, a lot of adjectives that we keep hearing across. So, which one makes you different? The 3 words. Now, once you've written the 3 words, now it's time to answer the next question. What are the 2 words you would use to describe yourself as a teacher? Just 2. You know, the rich English language, we've got lots of words to describe ourselves. Of the rich vocabulary, I just want you to describe yourself in 2 words, just 2 words. Yes? It's difficult to choose, huh? But you are the master. You can make the choice. And now we are actually into the funneling process. So now it's time for the most important question. Most important, the most important. What is the one word you would use to describe yourself as a teacher and why? So from 3 to 2 and just one word you would use to describe yourself as a teacher and why. So please put it in the chat box. We will come back to the answers shortly. Yes, so one word. Now for all those who have in that one word described themselves as learners, you are perfectly on the right way, right track. Because teaching essentially is learning. And that is what we are going to unravel through the session today. Yes. How many of you believe in this picture? You've heard of this particular sentence. Congratulations, it's a teacher. Yes? You've heard of the sentence, congratulations, it's a boy. Congratulations, it's a girl. Yes? Generally, after the, outside the maternity ward, you'll have doctors giving out the statement. Now here we have, congratulations, it's a teacher. Do you believe in this picture? So what does it tell you all? Teachers are born. Teachers are born. I don't think anyone in this particular, this beautiful profession would love to call it as teachers are born. Teachers are made, because teaching is a skill. It is a profession, but it is a skill that needs to be developed and enhanced every moment. Yes, and learning is, I think, part of teaching. Teaching and learning cannot be separated, segregated. So let's move on. So let us together look at how to lead ourselves into learning, and then slowly, once we are on the track of learning, we automatically get into the shoes of a leader. Because learning and leading go hand in hand. And lead to learn, and then learn to lead. So how effectively in this particular order we follow these 4 L's is what is going to decide how effective we are as teachers. So let us find out the common ground between teacher and a leader. Yes? Both have strong leadership, because it is not a small thing, standing in front of this huge audience, and that too directly face to face, facing each other, live audience. It requires strong leadership skills. And then believe that they can achieve results. Now, results here both ways: success mentally of the students, and physically on the marks basis, on the success of the particular section or class that you teach. So, and then teacher and leader both have a vision and a goal. And for both of them, every day is a priority. Every day, every moment is a priority. Time is a huge factor in deciding the, the pathway of these two, teacher and leader. Then another entity, very important, is careful and purposeful planning. We need to plan very carefully and with a lot of purpose. Every moment, in fact. Because we keep learning every moment. I think none of us would deny the fact that we keep learning from our young students across, yes, whichever grade it be. And then on the careful, purposeful planning. Yeah. Now we have a closer look at teacher and leader. Now, if you compare the word, you have from leader, we need to take, if we cut off the common letters, we have L and D, yes, standing there. For teacher to take it up. So L and D. What does L stand for? Look for opportunities, and D, to develop whatever you get, you lay your hands on. Okay, so that's how I find a common ground between leader and a teacher. Teacher needs to continue looking for opportunities to develop. And there comes the importance of professional development. Now, there are a lot of researches happening across the world on the professional development, PD as you say it. PD, professional development. Some people have it CPD, continuous professional development. So let us, this one definition is one of my favorite because it actually addresses all the factors of a professional development. This is by Beatrice Avalos. In one of her research papers, she says that professional development is about teachers learning how to learn and transforming the knowledge that they have learned into practice for the benefit of the students' growth. Yes, it is a complex process. It requires a lot of effort. I'm not denying it. But then because it is a complex process, we can't just put it aside. Okay. So it is a complex process because teachers, first, they have to do a reflection. They must have the willingness to examine where each one stands. That is very important, to gauge oneself. Where are we standing in terms of knowledge, in terms of skills, in terms of behavior? And once we have gauged ourselves, what do we need to do? We need to find appropriate alternatives for improvement or change. Obviously, nobody is perfect here in this world, yes? And that is what makes us moving. We must be moving in search of perfection, which is never there, yes? So in today's session, we in the sense you and me together, we're going to find out answers to the 3 pertinent questions on P and D. I just separated the PD as P and D. So P, because for me, P also stands for professional and personal, and then development. So we're going to answer why, how, what. Now, why, how, what? Those who have heard Simon, the great speaker, Simon Sinek's proposition would definitely understand why, how, what. It is a famous speech on TED.com. So anything, any decision or anything that we want to do in life, if we start in this particular order of first answering why, then finding out how to do it, and then what we are going to do, and flying colors are sure at the end of it. So let us start our journey of finding out, exploring why PD. Yes. So the first most important answer is it's an ever-changing world. Yes or no? It has been changing since time immemorial. So how does it change? How everything, whatever surrounds us is interchange, yes? Just look around you. You're not there in the Stone Age, yes? Definitely not. We have come a long, long way, and that is the power of change. That is the power of adapting to change. So let's look at a few pictures. Changing, do you agree? Yes, I refer to the Stone Age, almost near to that. And then you have the newest cities with beautiful laid roads, bridges, beautiful buildings. Yes. And then, yes, the telephone, it's come a really long way. Now, many of us also have this particular, the ancient, we call it ancient a relic almost. But we have it at home just for decoration. Yes, no? We love to have this, the second one in our hands, because that's the latest technology. Yes, let's move on. Another thing, look at the typewriter, almost, not almost, it's a relic now. And then the latest laptop, how much we have come ahead. And the next picture is one really food for thought. This is the most recent change, something that has completely changed our lives. So earlier we used to get together. For the last few months, we haven't been doing it. And that is what I think Corona is teaching us. Not to get too close. Keep yourself in compartment. But we need to come beyond that. And that is what is today's session about. How should be able ourselves to come beyond certain things. Come beyond, out of the easy couch or comfortable settings, how to come beyond that. So all the three pictures, all the four pictures, in fact, tell us that change is constant. And the last picture also has thrown all the teaching or the education fraternity into a big emergency situation. I think 10 or 15 years earlier, distant learning or learning through computers was always, yes, we always looked at us with a big question mark. But now we are thrust into it. All the teachers, and it is such a beautiful sign that teachers all have taken it up upon themselves and doing the best they can in this particular situation, because education is something that gives us power and we don't want it to take the back seat. So all the teachers across the world have taken up distant learning, online teaching as the change, and they've transformed themselves. So change is constant. And what is teacher's role in this? The teacher, you can see, is in the center, in the middle, the world and then learners. So teachers, they are the meeting point, because we as teachers can showcase the best of world in front of the learners. We become the gap, we become the bridge, we bridge the gap between the world and the learners. We need to do that. And that is what the purpose of a teacher is. So teacher is a beautiful intersection of world and learners. And that is why change is pertinent, is very important. So the change that we are talking about in teaching career or teaching personalities, it is upgrading ourselves. Updation, yes, updation. We saw everything around us is getting updated. We want to have the best of the world, yes? So let us look at into ourselves. We also need to do that. We also need to update ourselves. It's very important. So what do we update? What is updation about? Why? We need to update individuals' knowledge, individuals' skills, attitudes, approaches. Why? Because we want to know about the latest teaching techniques, the change in the different objectives of the teachers and learners, the new circumstances, new situations, and also keep ourselves updated with the latest research happening. People are very busy with researchers, yes? Though only the first table, the data, I'm sorry you couldn't see, have a look at the data, but according to that, only 15% of the world's employed population is actually engaged into doing things, whichever country it be. And there'll be slight differences up and down in the developed nations and the developing and the underdeveloped. But on the whole, 15-17% of people are only those who are engaged. So, and you see the amount of work that we can see across just with the 15%. This, imagine if 50% or the 100% get engaged into our work. So why do we need to update? Because we want to extend, extend our capabilities to enable us to apply, because we want to achieve things. We want to at least reach the maximum potential of our capabilities. Yes, we need to do that. We don't want to remain underachiever. We have to become achievers or beyond achieving, what do you call, above achievers. Yes, we don't want to remain. So the fact is, we don't want to remain underachievers. So whatever capabilities God has gifted with us with, we need to go beyond that, experiment, explore. So we need to enable ourselves to check our capabilities and apply it in our profession. And then we need to exchange. The most beautiful, the simplest word for exchanging is sharing. So once we update ourselves, we need to enable ourselves to apply it and then share it among the fraternity. Now, look at the next thing. This is the most beautiful part of the PD, the personal development plan or professional development plan. How does it impact? We need to get into this change, this journey of change, because it impacts both profession and personal life. We become a better person. We start respecting ourselves much more than what we did yesterday. Yes, definitely it impacts the knowledge. It impacts our competencies, our skills, and values. The most beautiful thing that, has a distinct importance for being teachers. The behavior, the values that we share with the generation. And then how is it a two-way process? It benefits the learning and achievement of the both sides, teachers and the students, because we both are learners. The moment we become masters, everything stagnates. And we don't like anything that stagnates. Because stagnation is unwelcoming anyway. So the moment what we need to realize is teachers are learners along with the students, and the path becomes more enjoyable. That's why I call it a two-way process. So it's affecting two different aspects of society, and that's why it becomes the most important thing in profession or personal fields. Now, so that's little work for your pen and notebook, for your brains. Yes, I'm sure. I hope that all of you are doing active listening. So just put these letters in order and tell me which is the most important word in these. I'm sure you. Yes, just a moment. Quickly find out. You can place the word which I am actually looking for. They can be synonyms, but yes. So I hope you have posted your answers in the chat box. Yes, quick on the feet. So let us move. I hope you've done that. So how do we allow change into us? What do we do it? It definitely cannot, the change as such cannot come in closed compartments. It needs open hands, yes, because it is taking and giving. So it needs open hands from both the sides. Now, so what do? We must change our attitude to hesitancy and lack of self-confidence. And, we have, maybe we do not, face it, but all of us have this little hesitancy and lack of confidence in our own development as teachers. So what do we need? We have to be fearless in attitude. I hope you got the word, what I was referring to. Yes. So that is attitude, change in attitude if we want to move ahead. So yes, you got that. The most important words, fearless and attitude. Fearless in attitude. So how can we do? Now we have answered ourselves the first question, why? Why do we need to do it? Yes, we have answered that. Now we have come to why, in the sense we have convinced ourselves that yes, we need to change. We have to change for the betterment of ourselves and of the society, which the lives that we touch, for both. Now, how can we do that? How do we do PD? And PD is not an event. It doesn't come once in a year or once in a month or in 6 months. It doesn't have a schedule like that. It is a process. It has to be constantly, we have to be behind the process. We have to be into the process. Get into the process, because it is not an event. It's not an occurrence. And to get into the process, these two words which you see on the screen, they are going to help you. They are going to do the hand holding for you. They will hold your hand in this to take you through this process. That's metacognition and micromanagement. What is metacognition and micromanagement? all big words, compound words, because they are made with the two words. There is one part which is the root word, the other one, the other part. So there are two meanings to this particular word. That's why it becomes a deadly combination. So let's look at what is metacognition. So what is metacognition? Meta, the first part, plus cognition. So together, the meaning of the word is beyond thinking and understanding, going beyond. So we need to go beyond what do we see? Now, we see something, we must go beyond it to find out. Yes, curiosity. And it is thinking within thinking. So meta is the root word there, which is actually giving it the beautiful shade. Change, after, beyond, between. So change, thinking or understanding, go after you understand or think, go beyond it, and between, read between the lines that you hear or see or you read. So cognition is understanding. So metacognition, that's how it gets combined into a very potent word. So how does metacognition help you? It helps you in planning, monitoring, and assessing. The three most important words in the teacher, in career, be it teaching or any other career. Yes? So let's look at the second word. So you can look at the picture. There is a bulb within the thought process. Yes? So bulb within a bulb. You can say bulb in the sense idea. Yes? Idea within an idea. Now, micromanagement. Micromanagement actually, as a word, has got a negative connotation to it, but it has got a negative shade only when you apply it on others, okay? So this is something we should not be applying it on others, but instead we have to apply it on ourselves. Micromanagement. So micro here is the root word, which gives the shade to the word management. The word, the meaning, micro meaning small, very minute, and management is control. So it's a personal control into the smallest detail. That is micromanagement. And when you say micro, that means it is not visible to our naked eyes. We require tools for that. Yes, but instead of using the physical tools, we use the eyes of our brain. That is the best, gauge, the best tool to gauge ourselves. So what do we do with how micromanagement helps us? It helps us in keeping close observation on ourselves, close control on ourselves, and also closely remind us about our journey. So metacognition and micromanagement are the deadly combination that we need to keep in mind when we're talking of professional or personal development plan. So now look at these pictures. What do they tell you? Yes, I told you it's active listening session. So what is this first picture? Now we're going to look at what is metacognition and what is micromanagement. Okay, so these pictures, a set of pictures that you're going to see in the 4 slides, they all are going to talk about the constituents of metacognition and micromanagement. The first picture, yes, have you guessed it? The second, both come together. We need to do, yes, it's the why and connection. That is communicate, inquire. Keep communicating, keep checking with each other, and keep inquiring, not accepting things that you see or get just like that. Because that is not, human beings are not, we have traveled this far because of our curious nature, because of inquiry. Yes? So we need to do that every day, every moment. We need to communicate and we need to keep inquiring. Look at the next one. Yes, again. So keep your thinking hats on. When we are in the process of thinking, no breaks. The first picture, what does it tell you? And the second one, you can see a person sitting quietly amidst nature, not away from the busy moments. And the first picture is about something that you need to Yes, maybe something to climb on, to keep climbing. Yes, so what is it? It's strive. We need to continuously keep trying, keep moving, whatever the hurdles. And once you decided to move on this journey, we need to reflect upon this. These are two sides of the same coin. If we are struggling or we are striving, if we are trying, it is our duty to reflect upon what we are struggling for or strive, because time is very important. We need to use the best. We need to make the best use of time. So reflection, if we are just struggling, that means we're just wasting our time. But more meaning is added to it when we reflect upon the time that we are struggling and on what we are struggling. So very important words to keep in mind: strive and reflect. Sorry about that. Yes, the next two pictures for you. Different colors, you can see many people there. And then you can see one lone painter painting. So what is it about? Keep thinking, girls. Keep thinking, dear friends, colleagues, and new learners, new teachers. Yes, so very important. Collaborate and apply. We need to collaborate. First, the first picture, it was about networking, communicating to each other. Now, once we have found out what needs to be done, we need to collaborate on it. We need to get people together, take people together, because we want to go long way. We're not looking at temporary success. We are looking at a long-term success. So we need to collaborate and apply whatever we have learned. That's very important. We cannot just stop at what we have learned. Most of the, all of you, I think all of us agree on the point that once a seminar or now a webinar is over, we switch off then and get back to our work. What do we need to do is, after a seminar or a webinar, come together, trust people whom you trust, or the well-wishers, or whoever you want to take them, come together, talk about it, and try to apply that. And that's where the success happens. Okay, so it's a teamwork, because learning happens in a team. Yes. Now the last one. Yes. What is this? These are two pictures, but talking about one idea. What do we need to do? What we've answered it in the first section when we are trying to answer why. What does this picture tell you? It is known for that. Yes, I'm seeing a lot of answers, but I'm not able to see it because I think technically I'm not able to look at the answers. So I'm happy that many of you have your active listening hats, thinking hats on with your active pen. Now, let us look what this picture tells us. I'm sorry. Adapt. Adapt is also, again, a very strong word. We need to adapt and keep moving. We don't want to be left. Yes, we don't want to be left alone. There are certain things happened in the last few days because of loneliness, because somebody was left alone, and that ended in this manner. It's very painful to see that. So what we need to do is we need to adapt and move ahead. We need to get into the change, and first we need to decide we need to change, and then adapt, and then keep moving. Yes, जीने का नाम जिंदगी है. That's what life is called. Life is about moving and not standing still. So those were the 7 steps of metacognition and micromanagement. Sorry, and these two words, the potent combination, are, they add value to your PD, the personal development plan or professional development plan. So we are talking about adding value to our decision of getting into the why. It's changing. How we add value. So how we do that? That is DMS: develop, maintain, and strengthen. So it is just a summary of the 7 steps that we have just looked at. So identify, plan, act, reflect. You have to maintain that. We need to maintain acting and reflecting. It has to be part of our routine. The way we get up every morning and brush our teeth, the same attitude must be there for action and reflection. And once that is set as a routine, automatically gets strengthened. Because once we learn something and we reflect on it, we understand what are the pluses and minuses, and then we apply, we share, and we measure the impact. What is measuring the impact? We should be open to feedback. That is why we collaborate. Okay. So these were the steps that is going to almost spearhead or funnel our decision to, yes, get into a PD plan, a personal development plan. So as teachers, can all of you tell or share your views on what makes a good teacher great? Yes, let us uncover together. What is this? What is the difference between good and great? Yes, there is a lot of difference. And nowadays, the word good it's no more an adjective kind, it's just a word for okay. It's good, yes. How's the weather? It's good, it's okay. But the moment you say it's great, yes, the difference is there. Because we as teachers are looking at not at classrooms, but it is actually a room to where you bond. Teachers have to create a bond with the students. Yes, they have to get into a strong bonding. It's no more. We need to. So when we apply these 7 things, the room it no more remains a classroom. It becomes a bonding experiment. We build bonds, and that is where this difference between good and great teacher lies. Let's try. Okay, stories matter, isn't it? Our tradition, we've been known for, as a country, we're known for the stories. Country, the world over. Stories are things that motivate us. And being teachers, I think all of us get into storytelling, isn't it? And it is better that we accept that we are storytellers. Definitely we are storytellers. We are not engineers or programmers or bureaucrats. I don't say they don't tell stories or stories don't matter to them, but as teachers, stories is, you can call inextricably intertwined into our job, our character, our behavior. Stories matter. They matter too much. And that's how we build bonds. Now, look at these 2 pictures and tell me what you understand of these 2 pictures. There is a saw, and there are a lot of trees which are no more green, and they get into this particular picture. Yes. So what am I hinting at? The famous story. Now we have so many stories of motivation for us, but the one which I loved, there are many stories which are evergreen. When you listen to them every day they throw a learning point at us. Yes. Now, in this particular list, I have a story which I love to listen almost every day and love to share it every day. Because, every story has got its own versions. It depends upon who is telling, in what kind of situation they are telling. So that's how stories become the best tool you can play around with. Now, I would like to share a small story with all of you. So with your active listening hats, listen to the story. So this is a story of a woodcutter, a team of woodcutters at a timber merchant company. Now, they were all skilled, they were all strong. Every day, their work time was 9 to 5. They all used to come to their job. They had been given the tool, the saw, the axe for their work. So every day they reported work at 9 and they finished their work by 5. During this time, it was their work was to cut trees. Now, in this 8 hours, how many trees they cut was the salary was dependent on that. Now, so we had a group of woodcutters who used to cut in this 8 hours, maybe 13 trees. Some days they cut 15 trees, some days 14, some days 12. But life is going on. It was just going on because people were happy, the boss was happy, everything was going on perfect. Now, one certain day, there's a new entrant into the company, a new person joins, a very energetic gentleman who joins as a woodcutter, new entrant into the company. He's also given his tool, the axe, and he joins the work and starts right away. So the first day, the new person, we're talking of the new person, the focus is on the new now. The new person, at the end of the first day, he has cut almost 18 trees in the 8 hours. Okay. So the group that is already there, they're also happy to say, okay, the first boy, he has a lot of energy, passion. Let's see as days go by. The next day, again, he cuts 18. The third day, 19. So what happens? Now, what has happened with the experienced group? But there's some restlessness there. Come on, what is happening? Definitely this boy is getting some external help, or he's doing some, some magic, some black magic, or things like that. What do? They talk amongst themselves and decide, let us go and talk to the person. Let's go and talk. Let's break the ice and go to the new person. There, new person, very, welcoming way. They greet each other, and the experienced head couldn't wait. They immediately get into the question. Come on, let us know. We are cutting 15, 14, 13, the number of trees that they're cutting. But how is it that you managed to cut 18, 19, and every day it is just getting more? This, it gives a beautiful smile to them, and tells them that I also have 8 hours, you have 8 hours, but of the 8 hours, the first few hours I spend in, yes, you get it, sharpening my axe. I sharpen my axe and then get into my work. Get the idea? So getting something into routine, if we do not reflect on what is happening, the results are not very satisfactory. So here with the new person, the boss is extremely happy because he is giving in the same 8 hours, he is giving more effective results. And the secret is sharpening the axis. I would like to just share what my guide, Dr. Vishnu Bhatt, he is no more now. He used to tell that learning happens in a team. We have to be together when we are sharing things. And he said, he once reminded at his house, we always used to gather all the young, the postgraduates, the researchers, everybody. So we used to have a nice time chatting. Many of us were planning to get into teaching. So he told us one thing, that every day, whatever be your experience, be it 1 year, be it 6 years, be it 20 years, whatever be the experience, always put it aside. Look at it from a new perspective every day. So maybe you are going to your first class, this is your first day at work, and you're going to your first class, and your 20 years experience, and you're going to the class of that particular day. The energy and passion should be the same. There's no reduction there. The moment we do that, so every class that we go about, we have to do a small practice. We have to reflect what have been. Maybe we have been teaching the same subject for quite a long number of years. But when we look at it from a new perspective, we always get new things to learn because we are learning. Remember, we are learners. Okay. Now, and one more thing he told us. Suppose in our free time at college, we are all sitting and chatting, and suddenly we remember, yes, my next class. And if you remember, oh, I have to go to my next class. Oh, my class, I have to go. The moment, the day you feel this, it is time for you to rethink on your profession. The day you do not get joy thinking about your work, that means you need to rethink on the plan that you are working on. Okay, I hope it rings bells to many of us here, and this sharpening of the axe, that here metaphorically sharpening of the tools. We need to sharpen ourselves every day, every moment, because we have kept the learning compartment open. We're not in boxes. So what do? Why do we need to do this? Because we want to climb upwards. We want to climb to reach the best version of ourselves. We need to achieve, we need to progress, we need to perform, we need to get the spotlight. Yeah. So what are the learning points we had till now? So a close look at the performance defines action and reflection. The word metacognition and micromanagement. We have to always keep defining our action and reflection. Now, Abraham Lincoln said, give me 6 hours to chop, to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. That's it. That is a big learning point for all of us. Yes? So out of the 6 hours, 4 hours into sharpening the axe. And the rest of 2 hours is up. It becomes double, or you can triple the effectiveness that we are talking about. So now what we need to do, put time on your calendar to sharpen your axe. As a leader, you will be glad that you stayed so sharp, I'm sure. I don't think anybody will negate this particular fact. So what can we do? What do we do about it? What are the things we can get into that can make us get into a PD plan, a professional development plan? So this is a very small list. We have, all of us are tech savvy, net savvy. So we have, it's unlimited. There are so many different opportunities and ideas on the net. These are just a few which I've listed down. Networking, mentoring, work shadowing. Work shadowing is one very important factor. What is work shadowing? Standing up for each other. Okay. Standing up for each other in the hour of need. That's very important. Because it builds relationships, and the building relationships, yes, empowers your personality, character. Peer observations, skills through coaching. Whatever we've learned, we must share. In other words, we must try teaching others. Yes, sharing with others, because it builds, it again, makes the foundation very strong. Attending trainings, workshops, seminars, conferences, webinars, getting into action research or doing researches, yes. According to me, I have put it the last, but I think that is the best form of personal development, and that is reading. It takes you into a world of its own. It develops so many skills unknowingly into you. That is one skill I would like all of you to develop and continue with proper, spirit, energy, and passion. Yes, so this was not new, isn't it? 95% of our population, we know and we say the right things, but only 5% do it. That's where the difference comes. All of us know things. We are in the know of things, but the problem is we haven't convinced ourselves into doing that. That is why we are not doing it. It takes a lot of time to convince ourselves, because only we convince ourselves, we get into the routine of doing it, performing. And that is why we looked at the question why first. Because once we are convinced, then we don't look back. We just progress. We just keep progressing, keeping ourselves abreast. Okay, so let's turn the tables and make 95% this side and 5% that side. Yes? All of you agree with me on that point? Let's get on. Now, there's a question all of us have. Should I do it? Should I do it? And look at the excuses. There's a lot of work at workplace. Yes? You remember the 85%? People, those who are not engaged or actively disengaged. There's a lot of work at the workplace. There are personal responsibilities. It is impossible to find room in the schedule for learning, is it? All of us have 24 hours. All of us. From the leading speakers, people who have those who are on the top of their achievement graph, and people, those who are still thinking on it. So we are finding excuses. We are finding excuses because, we are comfortable in our place. We have the sweet, cozy place. We don't want to leave it, because the moment we decide to leave it, it's about risk. You're not interested in risk. But dear listeners, risk is something, it has got positive and negative, and that's what is life about. So please don't feel guilty. Now, all this time we were convincing ourselves of getting into personal production, how to make ourselves productive. So please, if you feel guilty about taking time out for personal or professional development, after all, this could be used, this time that you spend on listening can be spent on urgent, important tasks, yes? To be with my family, your family in the other way, yes? Yes, we know, all these things are important. But who's thinking about us? Tell me. Who's thinking about our development? Who has to take the responsibility of developing ourselves, so that we not bloat, actually, we expand ourselves in front of ourselves, our own eyes. We better our self-respect. So it is you, me, who has to take this decision. Yes, we can reduce 1 hour of speech, 1 hour of sleep, 1 hour in the kitchen, yes, 1 hour in other works, 1 hour of watching TV. We get a lot of time. Just reschedule your plan of daily routine and just check. After a month, I'm sure you'll find that this plan works. Excuses, no, it do not work. And this world is not a place for excuses. Spotlight falls only on the people who strive and go ahead. So in the course of a busy, hectic day, learning or PD, the development plan, can easily slip into the bottom of your to-do list, which we have to stop. That is why we have been funneling from why, how, and to what. So now it's again time for you to just do a bit of active listening. Yes, take out your pens, notebooks, and rearrange these words into a proper, meaningful sentence. Can you arrange that in a minute? We do excellent. These are just words which are just, sprayed across. So who instills meaning into the words? We, the person who arranges it. We have the choice, we have the power to arrange words for our benefit. Yes? Again, I can see a lot of replies. We'll take it up at the end of the session. We're just about to close. So shall we look at the sentence? We are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, but a habit. This is a famous quotation by Aristotle. We are what we repeatedly do, not once in a month or once in a year. No, we don't become that. We have to become. We have to, breathe what we want to achieve. And what is breathing? No time for that. Every time we're doing it, we're thinking, we are doing it. So that's how the plan of action, that is the importance that you must give it to your plan of action. So teachers, there's no doubt about it. They are transformational leaders. They transform lives. And we are talking about teachers transforming themselves. So let us transform ourselves, because CPD, continuous personal development plan, more than continuous development, I call it continuous personal development. And the best part is you are the right person to check, to start, and continue. Remember, maintain. We need to maintain the process. We need to be part of the process, because look at this particular quotation. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. You are a leader for yourself. We need to do hand-holding for ourselves to become leaders for the next future generation. So today's session, we got the answers, yes? Why, how, and what? Why? Why we need to do this? Why we need to get feeding into the routine? Because we want to become EP. Yes, the first slide. Engage. We need to become engaged into us. We need to engage ourselves. Engage personally and professionally. How do we do about it? How do we go about it? Metacognition and micromanagement. Again, I want to put it here aside that micromanagement is the best tool when you turn the focus on yourself, not on others. Yes? Because we are leaders, we are not bosses. We become bosses if we put micromanagement on others. We want to become leaders, so we need to put it on ourselves, right? And the answer to what? Teachers into transformational leaders, transforming people. So what do we need to do to transform ourselves? We had the answers in the earlier slide, and you need to do that. We need to go back, think about it, and get into the plan of action. So let us together celebrate teaching every day, every moment. Let it be a learning experience. And do what? And micromanage our metacognition to remind ourselves to sharpen our axe every day. So that is the takeaway from today's session. Micromanage our metacognition to remind ourselves to sharpen our axe every day. Yes, I hope all of you agree with that. We'll get back into discussion. So I would like to leave all of you with this particular picture. What do you understand from this picture? Just take a minute to understand. I want to leave this picture with you so that you keep thinking about it every day when you look at it. Because it's a process, yes? So you can see the person in the spotlight in front of the audience. Yes, a large audience. He's standing on the red carpet. Was his journey easy? Look at the number of plates he has broken before he could do that beautiful act of managing 5 plates at the same time. Look at the number of plates he has broken. It slowly got reduced and he has reached perfection. He's into, again, maybe tomorrow he'll try with 6 plates, with 7 plates, yes? He has set his standards high. And that's what we need to do with this, our plan of getting into development. So thank you all for listening so keenly with me. And let us get into discussion because I'm waiting to look at your comments in the chat boxes. Yes, over to you, Ms. Hema Malini.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. I hope people got many information about who to learn and learn to me, ma'am. There are a few questions regarding the presentation, ma'am.
Please.
The first one, ma'am. How can we make the students to be active in this pandemic situation during online classes?
That's the beautiful question because it is a trying situation for both the teachers and the students. Again, students, those who are getting into, you are deciding about your life. I want you to do the process of metacognition and micromanagement because that is the only thing that is going to funnel your urge to learn. You have to streamline your urge to learn, not just because everybody is learning, I'm also learning. No, that is not the answer for that. It is how you differentiate your goal, your vision for yourself. It's difficult. It is a time-taking process. We need to think about it. We need to reflect on that particular thing so that your needs become clear to you. Once your needs are clear, innovation is the result. Thank you for the beautiful question.
Thank you. My next question, ma'am. What strategies can teacher use for below average students? What strategies can a teacher use for below average students?
On WhatsApp, quite some time back, there was a message which was going around. There was a tree and the teacher was teaching climbing. It was the session to teach climbing. and you have different animals standing there. Elephant climbing the tree, monkey climbing the tree. Yes, your different animals arranged. So what we are doing is we are actually having a set pattern to gauge students. Somebody who's not good at maths may be good at English, may be good at engineering, may be good at some other subject. So we are not actually. I am not in calling students below average students. As a teacher, our service, we have a service orientation towards ourselves, our profession. So our service oriented is we have to put little time to discuss with students. We need to get that. We need to become the bridge. So instead of calling them below average, because we are looking at it from one subject, we need to look at it from a wider angle because we are leaders. We need to do the hand holding. So it is how, so you need to create a bonding with that particular student, with particular, every student's there. And they open up and then they talk to you and you know what is to be done. Yes, so everybody is equally capable. Everybody has the same brain. But our evaluation system is what is the culprit, I think.
Thank you. Next question, ma'am. Apart from metacognition, what are the way the students to be motivated? It is by Dr. Subramanian.
Yes, so apart from metacognition itself is a motivation, sir. So now, as I told you that we need to get into storytelling, we need to, become examples of learning. The teacher is the best motivator because, values are not taught, values are caught. We need to do what we believe in life in front of students. We have to be walking, living examples of what we do. So what motivates you? Try that out. Whatever motivates you, we're all human beings, yes? Somewhere we all have the shared thinking or shared goals. So what keeps you motivated? I think we need to try it out. We need to try different ways because every day we are learning. Every day we need to solve trial and error method. Some students get motivated, some take some time. We need to give them time. We need to give them time to get motivated. And intrinsic motivation is the best, sir, according to me.
Okay, thank you. Next question, ma'am.
Yes.
Do you think stress is useful or necessary to do our work better? About stress.
As Indians, I'm very proud to say that when we are under pressure, we bring out the best out of ourselves. The less time, the better innovator we become. Otherwise, we're all into a beautiful, cozy seat. But the moment pressure comes, we start exploring and thinking out. Now, look at no, I don't want to talk about the protests that are happening across, but then only when we are put in pressure, we start thinking. Now, in one of the slides I had shared that journaling is the best way of de-stressing. So whether you're happy or whether you're sad, try putting it on the paper. Whatever makes you sad, whatever makes you happy, you'll see a renewed self once you do that exercise. Or when you're doing some physical exercise, think about the worst thing happened to you, and you will definitely come over it. Stress, in a little sense, is good to lead you ahead. It'll handhold. But when it comes more, I think we need to find, and we will not face stress if we micromanage ourselves.
Thank you.
Yes.
Next question, ma'am.
Yes.
How to bring students in control, especially the sensitive girls who's disobedient? Because it is a difficult task for the faculty, no, ma'am.
Now, again, I'd like to just go back to a few points that I made in my session. As leaders, we are not talking about, we are leaders, we're not bosses. So we're not talking about controlling people. As teachers, when we become leaders, we need to handhold them. We need to we need to make a bond with them. It is a slow process. I know it is a time-taking process. We know how much time we take to convince ourselves. So it's about how we, not handle, actually, how we communicate with them, how we express ourselves. So I'm not with controlling, but make your class such that you are accessible. They can come to you anytime. You listen to them. You listen to their innovations. You talk to them about what they are good at. Yes, that's how we work. Teacher talks about what he or she is good at, and we must give time to listen to what our students are good at. So that's how we learn from them. Yes, it's difficult, but it's time. It's definitely worth doing this trial. Yes.
Thank you. Next question, ma'am.
Yeah.
Once, if a faculty is close to the students, they take advantage of them. If we are strict to the students, they used to comment behind the staff. How to deal with this type of situation?
There's a very, very thin line of difference between being strict and being friendly. Now, here, the university where I work, we have been told not to share our phone numbers or, mail IDs with students because they take advantage of that. But in a different way, I tried that. I had shared my WhatsApp number with people, with all my students, my email ID with them, and the bond is stronger. But only thing, we need to make a line. We should be clear with what they can share and what they cannot do. There's no problem. People make fun of it. It's fine. But we are strong with our principle. We have to be strong on our principles. Some things we cannot share. It's not shared. So we have to be stern at certain points, and we have to do it. We have to call a spade a spade. Just because we need to become the most popular teacher, we can't be just, thinning that particular line of difference between that. So we have to be very clear. What is no is no. But it's fine. People laugh at everybody. Socrates was laughed upon. He is the greatest person. Yes.
Thank you. Next question, ma'am. How to get students, especially in the rural areas, to reading stories? How to help them to get thinking in English because they think in mother tongue and translate? This is by Vasaki Ashoka, ma'am.
Beautiful one.
Shall I repeat, ma'am?
No, I got it. Yes. I got that. Now, reading, the first thing you need to do them is, I think storytelling is a beautiful way. You can relate, you can start sharing stories with them in their mother tongue, and make English learning a play. You have to play with English, not as something that they have to learn. When something comes as, as a rule, people generally go back. So in rural areas, students, we have our, we are blessed with grandparents around who can share stories, motivational stories for them to get into it. And as teachers in those particular areas, they can actually motivate them by playing with it. You need to play. The moment the subject, you take the subject out of that, the rules and, curriculum, just to entice them. It's you need to entice them into the language, play around with words, you slowly start doing, you play, and then get the students involved in it. Many people have tried, there are a lot of research papers on this, how to get students get into reading. And reading is a very strong act that will build them up. So start slowly with small, very basic books, and gradually make a reading club. Get students who like them. Definitely might be a few students who are pro to this. So make a small get together or meet each other in that particular time, and slowly you can pull other children into it. We tried this in our university. We made a small reading club. Earlier, when we spoke about reading, students weren't interested. So we slowly made a we made a club of few students, positive students, and the first place the club only had 5. Slowly it just bigger and bigger and bigger. And this part of the world where I'm teaching, they are proficient users of their mother tongue, and they use English only as just in the moment of requirement. Otherwise, it's not used. So it was a difficult time, but then slowly we got interested people. We made some students as examples, and then it just got shared. Almost became viral, the reading club. Yes, I hope I have answered satisfactorily. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll follow your instructions, ma'am, which is given in the presentation. Next one. Gratitude is a powerful catalyst for happiness. It is a spark that lights a fire of joy in your soul. Now I request Assistant Professor Ms. M. Maithili, PG and Research Department of English, to deliver vote of thanks. Maithili ma'am, are you there?
Okay, am I audible, ma'am? Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. As all good things comes to an end in life. On behalf of PG and Research Department of English from Marudhar Kesari Jain College for Women, Maniambadi, it is a privilege and a great joy for me to extend a vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. My sincere thanks to the resource person, Dr. L. Kavita Nair, Assistant Professor in English, RR, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Northern Border University. Today we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts. Your thoughts have enlightened our minds and have shown us a new path. Thank you, ma'am, for your interest and valuable information on the topic Lead to Learn, Learn to Lead. We are thankful to our management for their motivation. I would like to thank our principal, sir, Dr. T. Balasubramaniam, for his enthusiastic support. I also extend a special thanks to our beloved Vice Principal, Madam Dr. M. Inbavalli. My hearty thanks to PRO Madam Miss B. Shaktimala. My heartful thanks to Miss A. Sumera ma'am, our HOD, and Miss N. Hemamalini ma'am, our assistant HOD, for their valuable contribution, guidance, and encouragement in all our efforts. A special thanks to the organizing committee and technical team for their support and coordination. Finally, I also wish to thank the participants who have attended this FDP. With this, with this warm words and a kind message, we move to the end of today's FDP. Thank you.
Thank you very, very, very much. Thank you, Ms. Hemamali. Thanks, my heartfelt thanks to the whole college, the management, the listeners, everybody for this wonderful opportunity given. I hope it has been of some use to all of you, all the listeners. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, participants, for your kind cooperation. Feedback link is posted in the chat box. I request all the participants to fill it. And we'll meet you sharply tomorrow at 12 o'clock for the third session. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Welcome.